Hello, all. It's me again. Today, we're going to talk about what's happening in this country currently about rumors heard, the truths, Civil War II, perhaps. Uh, I was supposed to do this with Kim Sonnefeld, but my schedule is, although I'm disabled, I my time is limited because I end up falling asleep a lot. My back, the pain is just so intense, legs and stuff like that. The anxiety kicks in when that happens, and I'm just a mess, to be honest with you. It doesn't affect my ability to have, you know, a a good thought process when I'm capable of doing that. Whenever that's all kicked in, like I said, I'm just a mess. But I did finish my education up until 75% through with the dissertation, and I did finish my coursework for my PhD in advanced studies in human behavior. Bachelor's is in psychology. My master's is clinical mental health counseling. So, with that said, what we're seeing currently is the Marine reserves being activated. The orders circulating around the internet. There's no talk in the Marine Corps reserves or in the Marine Corps about this because naturally they're not allowed to talk about it. That's supposed to occur the 19th. California. Uh, Now, let me point something out. The Marine Corps Reserve activation seems to be a truth, of a fact. Um, I said seems because until it happens, we won't know for sure. But there is some positive. There is some truths that are aligned to make this activation look factual. For instance, the blackout in California. It's a rolling blackout due to what the government down there stated was uh, because of wildfires, that the fires that were going on. So they blacked out Northern California. It's been days. People are running out of food. They're running out of clean water, I guess. And because of this, the California government are bringing in UN troops to handle anything. And if the citizens become unruly, the UN can enter any country in this world, on this globe, and take control of the situation. Thanks to Obama. The Obama administration put that into writing through the UN. Before he left, he did that. So he had it on his mind. Uh, to further this, Obama in his administration also sold China, who is not our friend. Don't think they are. They also sold China. California did the biggest point of entry into our country via ocean liners, container port. It's called. In these containers, they can hold nuclear weapons. They can haul in dirty bombs. They can haul in drugs. You know, but thankfully, what I was really pleased to see was that Trump forced China into selling that bay back to the United States. See, California sold that. Obama sold it, actually, got that. So, as you know, Trump is always cleaning up Obama's mess and his tactics to overthrow this country. So, with that said, that still leaves the UN coming into this country. Are we being invaded? A lot of people think so. I think so. I think that we're being invaded. I think that Islam is posturing their personnel. I think the UN is coming in now. I heard, and this I don't know how factual this is, although I did have multiple accounts of people people doing recon that spotted the UN troops down in the southern part of the California, in Mexico, through Mexico. Naturally, they're going to come in through California. And I also heard that they're on the border of Canada. So, anybody knows about the Mongolians, going off on a little tangent here, when they conquered somebody, they would surround their enemy and squeeze inward. And then they would just massacre them once they got them trapped like animals. They had no escape. They would trap them in this circle and just massacre them. So, with that said, yeah, I think that we're going to be in for some serious shit. I think that Civil War II is going to jump off. Now, a point that you have to remember with Civil War, what causes Civil War is that when two political factions have polar opposite ideologies, that is the foundation for civil war. Now, if you take it a little bit further, well, is there a chance that maybe we could come to terms and we can talk and try to, figure this out? So because, we don't want to we don't want to have another civil war. I feel that the right has been doing this, but the left they're not budging. All that we see from the left is different aggressive groups emerging. Antifa, the Communist Party of America, they're coming to light now. Islam's progressing every day. And if you look at the map, you'll also see, well, what about? I'm sorry, I'm going to jump backwards for a minute here. When we're talking about circling in the enemy, if you didn't think it, I'll bring it to your attention where I didn't make a mistake. I just forgot to add this. The East Coast. We don't have no UN on the East Coast, but you know what we do have on the East Coast is an enormous amount of mosques. More mosques on the East Coast than combined throughout the rest of the country. And you ask yourself why. It's funny, isn't it? It isn't funny, but I've been preaching this, man, for like ever what's happening here. I also talked about Holly Del Campo, or the PA group. She'll be able to support this claim that I made. It was a prophetic. Yes, I am a Christian. I believe in God, and I had local pastors in my community profess me or claim me as to be a prophet, and I understand the logic behind that because of the outreach that I've done in the community. I predicted all of this stuff was going to unfold the way it is years ago. Um, but I told me and Holly were talking one night on phone. She's a beautiful person. I love her to death. We were talking, and I says, we were talking about the prophecies, and I says, well, this is really crazy, man. That the way this is unfolding. I said, here, listen up. I said about China and what's going on in the Middle East. I said we have Clinton's selling Russia uranium. They own a part of the American Uranium Company. I think it's in Colorado. I'm not real sure. I think it's in Colorado. But they own a part of the United States. So does China. But anyway, so we're selling this uranium to Russia. We also, through the Clinton Foundation, Russia is supporting North Korea, and they also support Iran. So I'm not going to get into prophecies. That's another discussion. But if you look up the prophecies, if you're a Christian, you'll understand the significance of China or Russia, the bear, and North Korea, and everything going on over the Middle East is prophetic. But so I says, what's going to happen is Syria. They're like the mainstay. They're like a neutral Muslim country, and they're in essence they're protecting Israel, because I don't know if they're doing it intentionally, but you would have to think so because there's highly educated men there. They're more educated than me in this. This is their forte, not mine. I'm just seeing it. Because Syria is protecting Palestine from being on is the Palestinians being on the Israel's border and the mountains overlooking Israel. So Syria is significant in providing a cushion for Israel, a big cushion. I said Turkey is going to come down along with Iran, and they're going to squeeze Syria out of that. You see that happening now. Turkey's coming down fighting the Kurds. They're moving down. And that is a little bit puzzling to me because we pulled out our troops from Syria. Now, like I said, Trump and his administration know more about this stuff than me, but prophetically speaking, that's significant. Now, if Iran starts pushing up on Syria, that's when prophecies are even gaining more momentum, because they'll eventually conquer Syria. And I says, well, what about China? What's China doing? I said that to Holly. I said, there's something going on with China. You know what I mean? And this was probably maybe a year ago, I'm thinking, before this stuff even started happening. So I started doing a little bit of research and stuff like that. And I didn't really conclude yet what China's role is going to be, really, up until I did some research on Chinese documentaries and stuff like this. Just last year, China said that they are going to acquire the United States. Think about how they're terming that. They're going to acquire the United States. They said they're going to achieve this through biological warfare. They're going to achieve this through biological warfare. Fentanyl, is that biological? It's in the air. Not fentanyl is in the air, but what they're saying is we got fentanyls killing a lot of people over here. The opioid crisis, it's real. Don't and don't blame the addict. Anyway, we have this opioid crisis going on, but the Chinese are highly educated. Sorry, I have to stir my spaghetti or my pizza sauce. The Chinese are very, very educated. They know exactly what they want to do, how they're going to achieve it. They spend, I mean, we're a great nation, no doubt. I'm sure the president thought about all of this stuff. But it's scary, man. So China's role in the takeover of the United States is plausible. It has to be. You have to look at China if you're looking at giving up to the United States. Now, the push for gun control, now you know why. Now you know why. Can they achieve it? Can they achieve the takeover of the United States? Yeah, in my opinion, they can. Because we don't know what's here right now. We don't know if they have dirty bombs built. We're not allowed to go on Muslim property, go into their mosques. They have training encampments. They bought the property. So we can't go on to them legally. There's too much political correctness as far as, period. But as far as kicking down doors and saying, this is the United States, we're not going to take this shit no more. Kick down the doors. You got patriots and militia that's going to support you. And that's not even counting, our armed forces going to be pulling back into the port. Look, they withdrew these people, the troops from Syria, which were many, but we're withdrawing from the Middle East and bringing them home. You gotta wonder why. We've been over in the Middle East for a long time, man. And to leave our Kurds, the Kurds were, we always fought alongside of the Kurds, and just to up and leave them quick and hurry like that is really, really strange to me. I feel some kind of way, to be honest, about leaving the Kurds to die, essentially. But then again, we got to bring our boys and our girls home. I get it. So I wanted to leave you with some of those things that are unveiling themselves. The 19th of this month is going to be a tell-all. If the UN shows their faces down California, if there's hostilities against our brothers and sisters in California, even though they live in California, even though they might be liberals, if they're getting, gunned down, murdered, imprisoned, they're still Americans, people. We can't forget that. What are you going to do? Right now, I would tell you to try to get enough water stored to last you for a month. Same with the food. Try to get enough food that's going to last you for a month. Water straws so you can drink contaminated water. There's various kinds of water straws that you can buy. Do some quick research and buy some of them. They'll filter, 15,000 gallons of water. One straw will. They have water systems, because water is going to be if shit hits the fan, water is what's going to keep you alive. Food, you can go 30 days without food, but still, it's a long time, especially for a child. So get your food, your water, get your essentials that's going to keep you alive if something something should pop off here. That's talking to the elderly that can't go out and fight. Every other man out there, an able body, or any woman that's willing to put it on the line, man, you're going to have to man up, pull up the boots, and go out there and kick ass, because that's just the way it's going to have to be if you're going to be fighting for America, But I'll leave you at that. I don't really like to do live feeds, because I feel pressured and rushed when I'm doing them. But if you have any questions at all, just, message me. My name's John Hodish, Hodish. And I also have a YouTube channel too. You can, if you want to look at, a lot of stuff on Islam and stuff like that. But, all right, I'm going to let you go. Kim, I'm sorry I didn't do this live feed with you, but feel free to maybe run this video, and maybe you could talk on it. Maybe you could talk on it. I'd appreciate that. I just, I'm funny. I feel some kind of way about live feeds. But anyway, I love you, people. All my brother and sister patriots, you militia out there need to really get serious about some shit. And God bless, man. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye.